Welcome everyone to F1 Motor Fever podcast. Strap in as we hurtle through the twists and turns of the 2023 United States Grand Prix, with Max Verstappen clinching his 50th career victory.
Verstappen. Like a storm, he blew past the rest, conquering both the sprint and the race, despite starting from 6th on the grid.
And what about our veteran Lewis Hamilton, eh? Even after being disqualified, he drove like a man possessed, almost nabbing the pole position.
His performance was nothing short of spectacular, testament to the updates Mercedes brought in. A disqualification has never looked this good.
And let's not forget Lando Norris, folks, surprising us all by claiming the second spot in the qualifying and finishing just the same in the race.
True, a shining example of his talent. And speaking of surprises, Yuki Tsunoda surely made heads turn with his impeccable racecraft and tire management.
Indeed, an outstanding 8th place finish for the AlphaTauri driver. But what about Pierre Gasly's incredible 6th place finish for Alpine?
A testament to his form, absolutely. But alas, Charles Leclerc, after starting with pole position, struggled during the race, only to be disqualified.
And amidst all this drama, Alexander Albon had a solid run, scoring points after the disqualifications.
And let's not forget Carlos Sainz, a warrior from the back of the grid to 4th after the disqualifications. A commendable performance.
Our hearts go out to Lance Stroll, who had bad luck with a brake issue, but showcased a fighting spirit to finish 7th.
And Fernando Alonso, he had his share of bad luck with a suspension failure, but still had an impressive recovery drive before retiring.
Lastly, we have our rookie, Logan Sargent, nearly missing out on a top 10 finish but securing his first points in Formula One. A memorable race indeed, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. A race that rewrote rankings, affirmed reputations, and tested the resilience of the best. A classic chapter in the grand narrative of Formula One.
Ah, well said, William. It's not just about races, it's about writing history on the tarmac. The saga of speed, skill, and strategy. That's what Formula One is all about, isn't it? Hey there, speedsters. This is your pal George, and I'm here with the one and only, the master of motorspeak, William. We're bringing you a bit of a change in pace today.
That's right. We're stepping in for our regular host Enzo to bring you one of our special Thursday morning episodes on F1 Motor Fever podcast.
You know it, William. Thursday is when we take a deep dive into the epic, the historic, the monumental moments of Formula One. It's all about the thrills and spills, the audacious overtakes and heart-stopping crashes.
And the stories behind them. Those moments that have become a part of the sport's folklore.
Couldn't have said it better myself, William. And let me tell you, folks, we've got a cracker of a story for you today. But before we start, do us a favor. If you're liking what you're hearing, subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications, and drop us a comment. Share the love with your friends and family. It really helps keep this channel running at full throttle.
Speaking of full throttle.
Exactly, William. Want to know more about the ins and outs of the United States Grand Prix, the stunning victories, and the shocking disqualifications? Well, stick with us.
Sounds like it's going to be quite the ride, George.
It sure is, William. Because here on F1 Motor Fever podcast, we don't just talk about Formula One, we live it. So, are you ready, folks? Then let's go. Full throttle.
You know, this all takes me back to my childhood. I remember this time when I was just a lad, listening to the race commentary on an old wireless radio we had at home.
Oh, do tell.
Well, there was this one race, I can't recall which one it was exactly, but it was a classic. The frontrunner, leading by a good margin, got disqualified for some reason. It was heartbreaking. I remember feeling as crushed as if I was the one behind the wheel.
Sounds a lot like Hamilton's situation this weekend, doesn't it?
It does indeed. You could sense the disappointment, the frustration. But Hamilton, just like that driver from my childhood, didn't let it get him down. The updates brought by Mercedes gave him the much-needed confidence, and he put forth one of the best performances we've seen all season.
Just goes to show it's not just about the result. It's about the journey, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about how you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the race. That's true in life, and it's especially true in Formula One.
Verstappen really crushed it this weekend, winning the sprint, coming through the field from 6th and even dealing with brake issues to claim his 49th major victory.
Actually, it was his 50th win. Quite a milestone for Verstappen, don't you think?
Oh, my bad. Of course it was his 50th. What a momentous occasion for him. Thanks for the correction.
No problem at all. And let's not forget Norris, who turned a good third place into a brilliant second once Hamilton got disqualified.
Absolutely. Norris has been on fire recently, his 4th podium finish in a row. It's impressive, given that McLaren didn't expect to be at their strongest in Circuit of the Americas.
Yes, he really caught everyone by surprise in the qualifying. It's a testament to his skills and the hard work of the McLaren team.
Absolutely. And that's what Formula One is all about, isn't it? Strategy, skill, and the thrill of the race. Now, here's something worth discussing. Tsunoda's recent performance. After quite a few 11th place finishes, he managed a well-deserved 8th place this weekend, in spite of starting 11th on the grid.
Indeed, he showed great racecraft, impressive tire management skills, and of course, his natural speed.
Exactly. But what really stands out to me is how he managed to bounce back after a disappointing sprint where he finished 14th. It's a testament to his resilience, don't you think?
Well, I never really thought about it from that angle. That's a good point.
And then there's Gasly and Alpine. Gasly's been showing some consistent form with 4 top 10 finishes in a row, barring a penalty. He's another driver who took the weekend in his stride, securing some valuable points in both the sprint and the main race.
True. Both Tsunoda and Gasly showed that setbacks are not the end, but rather opportunities for comebacks. Quite a valuable lesson for all of us, really.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about Leclerc's weekend at the United States Grand Prix. It was a roller coaster of emotions, to say the least. He started on a high note, scoring an outstanding pole position for the race. But, as we all saw, his single lap pace didn't quite translate into the race. This could have been due to Ferrari's strategy, of course. Despite narrowly losing out on sprint pole to Verstappen and even finishing 3rd in the 100-kilometer dash on Sunday proved to be a bit of a struggle. He lost the lead of the race at the start and couldn't quite find the pace or the tires to contend, ending up crossing the line in 6th before being disqualified. It makes one wonder, doesn't it? Where did it all go wrong for Leclerc and Ferrari? Was it the strategy? Was it the car's performance over the race distance? Or was it something else entirely? As for Albon, it's been a series of near misses for him this year. He's had performances good enough to finish in the top 10, but his car just hasn't had the pace to score points. This weekend was no different, until the disqualifications saw him score some points. He started the weekend impressively, qualifying 8th for the sprint, but again, missed out on points, finishing 9th. It's a tough spot for any driver to be in, having the skill but not quite the machinery to back it up. It's one of those frustrating realities of Formula One. But as we've seen time and again, it's these challenges that often bring out the best in these drivers. Now let's turn our attention to some other noteworthy performances from the weekend. Back on the track, we had Sargent, who started in 15th place on Sunday, looked to have missed out on the points finishing 11th, but then fortune favored him. A steward's intervention led to disqualifications, and he scored his breakthrough Formula One points. Quite the turn of events, don't you agree?
Indeed. It goes to show that in Formula One, it's not over until it's over.
Absolutely. And what about Sainz? Despite struggling in qualifying to start the weekend and ending up in 6th after the shootout, he managed to secure a podium finish. He even made the bold call to start on the softs during the sprint, but luckily it didn't set him back. He might not have had the pace to keep up with the top 3 during the race, but the disqualification worked in his favor.
True. Every decision in Formula One can make a difference, and Sainz's choice regarding tires was quite intriguing.
Lastly, let's talk about Stroll. Despite plenty of bad luck lately, he's been forging ahead. A brake issue limited his practice runs before Friday's qualifying. The struggles of a Formula One driver, I tell you. It's not just about the racing. It's also about handling all these unforeseen challenges that come their way. Continuing with Stroll, despite retiring from the sprint due to the same brake issue, he bounced back on race day with some fighting spirit. Now, that's a racer for you. Aston Martin made some tweaks to his and Alonso's cars, and boy, did it pay off. Stroll worked his way from the back of the grid to secure a well-deserved 7th place.
That's the beauty of this sport, isn't it? The ability to turn things around and make a mark, even when the odds are stacked against you.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And then there was Alonso. Now, there's a man who knows how to put on a show. Despite being knocked out in Q1 for the first time as an Aston Martin driver and only finishing 13th in the sprint, he came back on Sunday, determined to make a difference. He battled his way through the field, leading Aston Martin all day and pulling off some impressive overtakes. He was chasing Gasly for 8th when he, unfortunately, had to retire due to a suspension failure.
A real shame that. He was quite the spectacle on the track, and it would have been nice to see him finish the race.
And oh, speaking of spectacles, how about Sargent narrowly missing out on a place in this week's top 10? Scoring the first points of his Formula One career at his home race, no less. That must have been quite the experience for him. Let's not forget the commendable effort Sargent put in. After a slow start and dropping to the back of the field, he demonstrated some tremendous pace to claw his way back into contention for the points. Quite impressive for a rookie, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's these sort of performances that make a driver stand out. It was a hard-fought race for him, and he certainly made a mark.
No doubt about that. It's been a race of ups and downs, twists and turns, but that's what makes Formula One so enthralling. Every race is a new story, a new challenge, and a new opportunity for these drivers to prove themselves.
Indeed, and it's always fascinating to see how these stories unfold on the racetrack. It's why we love the sport.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of F1 Motor Fever Podcast. We've had some deep dives into the weekend's performances and what they meant for the drivers and their teams. As always, we've tried to bring you the most engaging content, analyzing the races, the strategies, the triumphs, and the occasional hiccups. So, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode from us. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, do give us a thumbs up, share our podcast with your friends and fellow Formula One fans, and drop us a comment. We always love hearing from you.
And let's not forget the exciting stuff we have lined up for the upcoming episodes. You won't want to miss out. And trust me on this one, we do read your comments, and it's always a delight to connect with our listeners.
Absolutely. And before we sign off, a quick shout out to Enzo. We're sure you're going to love this episode. Thanks once again for joining us today. We can't wait to bring you more of the fascinating world of Formula One in our next episode.
So until then, keep your excitement revved up and your spirits high. Formula One never disappoints, and neither do we.
Pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road. Our channel's content is pure gold. See you next time, folks.